why.
Feels like time is going faster than it seems. We were just two kids who were trying to live the teenage dream. We could see no.
How do you lean your engine? Rich of peak? Lean of peak? And why?
Number 4508 Romeo, Montgomery approach, Montgomery altimeter 3031.
See Birmingham International down below us. The city is just off to the right. So you can see the VFR corridor.
Join me today on a nice VFR trip to Destin where we explore different leaning options for the Cherokee 6 IO540 Lycoming engine.
Baby, it was you and me. We could never fall, nobody could break us. Yeah, I thought we had it all. Take me back to when it was you and me.
Plus you'll see the VFR North-South corridor coming into the Destin airspace in action.
There it is.
Cherokee 08 Romeo attacking to runway 18.
Great little VFR flight out to Destin today. Should be a beautiful flight. Great weekend. Starting to warm up now. I just had the electric boost pump replaced. It was starting to go. And normal method of priming for 5 seconds. Almost over primed it. Really only needed 2 or 3 seconds. So that older boost pump really was on its way out. So glad I replaced it before it fully died.
Huntsville Exec traffic, Cherokee 08 Romeo will be departing runway 18, Huntsville Exec.
Exec traffic, I got 1762 down to display at the runway.
Feet are on the floor. Power coming up smoothly. Airspeed's alive. Gauges are in the green. 65 rotate, and we're off. Over the nose, let it accelerate. And there's VY.
Huntsville Exec traffic, Cherokee 08 Romeo will be departing the pattern to the south, Huntsville Exec.
Executive traffic, Columbia 581 Gulf Lima departing 18 Exec.
Alright, drop our flaps, fuel pump off, lights off, bring our prop back to 2600 for the climb. Over the nose just a little bit, speed up to about 100 knots or so, and we should be good for the climb out. What a beautiful day to fly. Alright, flop over to International.
Huntsville approach, November 4508 Romeo.
4508 Romeo, Huntsville approach.
November 4508 Romeo is off of Executive, be VFR to Delta Tango Sierra at 8,500, and I'm a PA32.
Number 4508 Romeo, squawk 1635.
1635, 4508 Romeo passing 2,700.
4508 Romeo, radar contact 3 miles south of Huntsville Executive Airport. Resume navigation.
Position check, Sierra Romeo.
Alright, so we'll turn it on our GPS mode, autopilot on.
Ripsaw 8, traffic 12 o'clock, 3 miles northbound, opposite indicates 1,300.
Special departure 5697 Echo off of Redstone at 2,000 feet. I'm heading to Decatur.
Number 5697 Echo, Huntsville departure, ident, Huntsville altimeter 3030.
So the weather's finally warming up. Gonna get back down to the coast for the weekend, have a nice relaxing weekend. Been miserably cold and wet and icy all through the southeast.
142, contact Mr. Center 120.8.
Finally getting into some spring weather. It's nice. So my EGTs on takeoff were running about 1280. As I'm climbing, I'm just gradually leaning back, trying to match that EGT. Once I get up to my cruise altitude, then I'll go ahead and do a full lean. Alright, come up on 8500. Go ahead and start leveling out. Bring our prop back to 2400. Leave our throttle all the way in. Less than 75% power at this altitude. Once we get stabilized, I'll put on altitude hold. There we are. Get trimmed out. Alright, let's go ahead and lean it out.
On the JPI, you start by pressing the lean find button, and that'll show up initially as reach of peak there. We're going to start a little bit reach of peak at 22.5 gallons an hour and gradually, slowly lean our way back through peak EGT. The JPI manual says to do this slowly so that you'll get an accurate peak EGT. If you try to go too fast, then you'll overshoot and have an inaccurate value. However, if you do it too slow, then you tend to spend a little bit too much time within that red zone that people like to stay away from, so it's a bit of a catch-22. I know at this power setting my final fuel flow should be somewhere around 18 to 18.5 gallons an hour. You'll see number 3 flashing because that's the one that tends to be peaking first, and the JPI monitor is watching that one. If another one were to peak sooner than that one, it would switch over and start flashing that one. But you'll see as we pass the peak, which looks to be about 1430 on the EGT, that number 3 is going to be the first to peak on the rich of peak side here. So now we'll hit the peak button, and that'll tell us how rich of peak we are. And now we're going to enrichen back up through peak EGT until we get on the rich side of peak. And I like to set my richest cylinder anywhere between 100 and 130 degrees rich of peak. And as you can see, that ends up right at about 18 gallons an hour. Here's an example leaning lean of peak. We're going to hit the lean find button and then hit it again to get us into lean of peak mode. We've got the mixture set well rich of peak at the start. I'm going to gradually lean on out, just like we did on the rich of peak setting. You'll see number 5 flashing because that's our leanest cylinder. We want to get not only that one, but also the richest cylinder well past the peak side of EGT. So here you see the waterfall feature number 2 showed up as the leanest cylinder. We're going to keep leaning until we get everybody on the rich side. Now this is flashing number 1 as my richest cylinder. So I'm going to set that one right at about peak EGT, maybe about 5 to 10 degrees lean of peak. And the rest of the cylinders should be between 30 and 50 degrees lean of peak. You'll see that puts me right at about 12.5 gallons an hour. 12.5 to 12.8 gallons an hour. Now we hit our peak button. And exit out. Now we should see our EGTs. And I usually track the number one EGT and keep that around 1440 to 1450 for lean to peak operations. Then here you see that gives me about a 10.5 miles per gallon economy.
So lean to peak today. Two ways that you can do this. You can pull it all the way past, well into the lean range, and then richen it until you get the richest cylinder to peak.
5697 Echo, I have Decatur in sight.
We're less than.
By the script to be approved is 1 in the pattern.
Alright, there's our leanest. There.
Yeah, 50% approved, and we're going to do a touch and go and then head towards Coleman. I'd like to keep the squawk if I could.
And there's our richest there.
Keeping the beacon, 52 advisory, 5697.
At 57%, 58% power, we should be somewhere around 12.5 gallons, and that looks about right. So everybody's either at peak or just slightly lean of peak. So number one is what we'll track, and that's 1440. And CHTs all look good. Alright, so lean of peak, we're 12.7 gallons per hour. And we got 140 knot true airspeed at 8,500. So if I went full power rich of peak, we'd probably be up around 16, 17 gallons an hour. And we'd probably get about 147 knots. So you lose about 6 or 7 knots. So anyway, we're setting cruise, and we got an hour and 50 minutes left, 2 hours left on the trip. We'll turn the cameras off and pick back up on the other side.
If you look in the Piper POH, it tells you to lean the mixture the old-fashioned way by pulling the mixture out until engine roughness and then advancing slightly until smoothness. It then goes on to say that for airplanes equipped with an EGT gauge, a more accurate means of leaning should use the Lycoming manual. The Lycoming manual specifies maximum continuous cruise power of 75%, never lean beyond 150 degrees on the rich side of peak EGT. However, for best economy cruise, settings lower than 75%, it recommends operating at peak EGT. Here is a page from the Lycoming manual, and it shows that best economy range goes from peak EGT down to 100 degrees lean of peak. For maximum power, it recommends setting the mixture anywhere from 100 degrees rich of peak to 200 degrees rich of peak, with the maximum power being centered around 150 degrees rich of peak. The region between peak EGT and 100 degrees rich of peak is known by some as the red zone, and recommended against operating in this region. I have done flight testing and calibrated my fuel flows for either maximum power rich of peak settings or maximum economy peak EGT or lean of peak settings, and these correspond to the above noted graph. 75% power at rich of peak maximum power is around 18 gallons an hour. Lean of peak 2400 RPM ends up around 55% horsepower, which winds up about 12.5 gallons an hour, which matches with this graph. I then created this table so that I can instantly reference the percent horsepower and set the fuel flow for either lean of peak or rich of peak operations without having to go through the whole lean find process. This is very handy when it's busy and you're getting calls from air traffic control or changes in configuration. Note that this is specific to my plane because I have SureFly with advanced timing, so go out and do your own experiments to make sure the values match your settings.
Passing Birmingham here. You can see Birmingham International down below us, and the city is just off to the right. Beautiful smooth flight.
Montgomery approach 4508 Romeo 8500.
Number 4508 Romeo, Montgomery approach, Montgomery altimeter 3031.
3108 Romeo.
Well, we're still fighting a pretty decent headwind the whole way, probably about 40, 15 knot headwind. But that's alright, it's nice and smooth up here. And I'm able to pull the power back and be pretty efficient, doing about 10 miles per gallon, 12.5 gallons an hour, a little bit, 2.3 miles per gallon actually. So 140 knots true airspeed on 12.5 gallons an hour. So you can see the VFR corridor going to Destin here.
Yeah, you're about 18 miles.
And it says clearance required and recommended route at 3,500 or above. Usually what they'll do is bring you down through and go field 2. And then that's a, looks like a little arrow. And then you go White Point, which is right there on the tip of the coast there, right where the bridge crosses over. And then they'll usually give you a right base into Destin for the 1-4 runway. There's the departures are usually coming off of Eglin there, and they want you below their departure corridor, so they'll usually drop you down below 1,000 feet coming in. But it's not too difficult as long as you're in contact with Eglin on the way in.
November 4508 Romeo, contact Eglin approach 125.1.
125.108 Romeo.
So they're going to hand me straight to Eglin instead of going to Jacksonville.
November 42 Tango, Eglin approach.
Eglin Sky 9342 Tango 5000.
November 9242 Tango, line clear.
Eglin approach 4508 Romeo, 8,500, like to request the north-south quarter.
November 4508 Romeo, Eglin approach, line clear.
So I wouldn't mind getting lower, but there is traffic about 3 miles ahead of me going the same speed, 1,000 feet below. So he's going the same place I'm going, I think. I think that's the Lance that was coming off right outside of my home.
Eglin 4508 Romeo, VFR descent.
Who was that calling descending?
4508 Romeo, VFR descent.
4508 Romeo, roger sir, VFR to your discretion, be advised you have traffic at your 11 o'clock, 10 miles westbound, C206, climbing a 5,000 VFR westbound.
Okay, be looking for traffic, 0 Romeo.
We'll set our altitude bug for 3,500, which is what they want you above going through the north-south transition. Although usually they ask me to descend below 1,000, stay underneath their departure corridor. So I just put these VFR waypoints in as a waypoint,
51, Eglin approach,
and then uploaded them to the GTN.
November 4508 Romeo, contact arrival 132.1.
321, 450 Romeo. Arrivals 4508 Romeo, descending out of 5700 for field 2 with Foxtrot at Destin.
Number 4508 Romeo, Eglin approach. You're loud and clear, we airport Destin site.
Roger, 0 Romeo.
So field 2 is this arrow-shaped field directly in front of me. See if I can get a picture of that.
Opus 21, climb maintain at 3,000. You proceed heading out 107.
Thanks.
Number 38 November, traffic no factor.
Factor 710.
Alright, before landing checklist, we've got the ATIS, Foxtrot. We're going to be landing 1-4. Have a GPS switch is correct. Fuel is on the fullest tank. Leave it there. Fuel pump and landing lights and flaps to go.
Number 269, traffic no factor.
Alright, we got Destin in sight over there, at least where it's supposed to be on the point. And we got Eglin in sight.
Number 08 Roman, verify Eglin and Destin site. Destin at your 1 o'clock, 7 miles.
0 Romeo has Eglin and Destin in sight.
Number 08 Romeo, contact Destin Tower, 118.45. Good day.
Over to tower, good day, 0 Romeo.
Alright, fuel pump and landing lights on, that's good. Everything's rich, 2400 is set.
Tower 4508 Romeo is 1 mile north of White Point with Foxtrot landing.
November 4508 Romeo, Destin, Roger. Continue to White Point. From there, you can see direct to a left base, runway 14.
White Point, left base 1408 Romeo.
All right, let's go ahead and put in a visual procedure for 14, load and activate. This gives me a little additional reference line. Destin in sight.
Tower for 16 Foxtrot on the ground, clear to Alpha 4.
16 Foxtrot, Roger. You going to the FBO, sir?
Yes, sir. 16 Foxtrot.
Okay, it'll be straight in park. Marshallers heading to your left.
All right, roger that. 16 Foxtrot.
November 4508 Romeo, runway 14, clear to land, wind 190 at 7.
Little down 191408 Romeo.
Alright, gas is on the fullest tank, fuel pump is on. Air is down and welded, mixture is rich, prop is set at 2400, flaps will go. Flaps to go, seatbelts and switches are set. A little bit of a right crosswind. One notch of flaps. And second notch of flaps.
And Destin Tower, Cessna 70378, holding short at runway 14.
Sky 70378, Destin Tower, hold short, runway 14, landing traffic.
378, holding short.
Alright, turn in base. More gumps check. Fuel pump is on, gas is on the fullest tank, gears down and locked, make sure proper forward. Flaps are set, seatbelts and switches are good to go. Clear land. Always a crosswind here in Destin. Very nice. Touchdown like a butterfly. Good crosswind landing. So here we are, Destin.
November 4508 Romeo, if able, right turn next taxiway, going to the FBO.
Alpha 4 to the ramp, 08 Romeo.
That's it, straight in parking. You've got a marshaller. Once you make the turn, it'll be heading to your left. Monitor ground 121.6, please.
On the ground, 2160 Romeo.
Sky 70378, fly, join the coastline eastbound, maintain BFR out of below 1000, runway 14, clear for takeoff.
378, clear for takeoff at 14, east down the coastline, out of below 1000.
431, 6 Foxtrot, Destin ground, you can taxi straight across Alpha 4 to your parking lot. Marshall is on you.
Yeah, we're at the FBO right now. We're going to do a quick turn. We wanted to get a flight following back to Kilo Echo Echo Tango.
And Cherokee 16 Foxtrot, runway 14, taxi via Alpha.
All right, taxi 14 via Alpha 16 Foxtrot.
Reno Ship 43, Destin ground, runway 14, taxi via Alpha, and you'll be following the Cherokee.
14 via Alpha, following Cherokee, Reno Ship 43.
We were never growing up, said we'd be out forever. You taught me how to love, nothing could be better than you and